So what's the Grape Explorer talking about today? So we are back to what I call values. We're all looking for values. Everybody's saying today, I don't have a lot of money to spend. I love wine. I'm looking for something that, that's different and unique. Oh, we brought you one today. Look, so this is a wine from the Cotes de Gascogne. And a lot of people will say, Cotes de Gascogne, where in God's earth is the Cotes de Gascogne? Well, I'm going to point it right on the map right here because it's all the way down here in the southwest of France. This is what we call my IGP map. And if you remember correctly, we identified the IGP zones here, all in France. And basically what that means is these are table wines that you can produce, and there's no rules within the appellation system that's very, very strict. This allows you to do whatever you really feel like doing. Not too many rules as long as you're making good wine. That's the bottom line. But guess what? That means value. That means because if you buy a wine that's an appellation or AOC, you're going to spend a lot more money. So we got all the way over here in the Cotes de Gascogne. But I'm going to explain this region a little bit because I do have some experience down here. Because, in actually visiting this area, which is one of the most gorgeous parts of France, this is actually Armagnac territory. Now, I know that some people might not know what Armagnac is. Armagnac is actually a brandy, like cognac, although, cognac is produced up in the Charente area here, and Armagnac is produced down here. And basically, they distill the grapes to create a brandy. And the two grapes that are very, very important here is Ugni Blanc and Colombard. So about 25 years ago, I was importing in Florida a producer which was called Chateau Taraquet, and it was a Cotes de Gascogne wine, and it took off. I mean, everybody used to buy this wine from me, and they loved it. And I actually, even to this day, I go to wine bars, and I will see Cotes de Gascogne, and I'll say, oh, I want that, because I kind of know what that wine is. But guess what? They started to do a lot of things. And so now we wanted to pinpoint this producer here and show you that they're doing Chardonnay and Sauvignon Blanc in this area. And this is called Cynges, which is French for the swan. And they call it four Cynges, which is the four elements. Which is earth, water, air, and fire. And basically those are why they call it the four Cynges. It's not only the four swans. As you can see, this is just beautiful labels, by the way. One of my friends in France told me, he said, David, I want you to try this wine. It's selling like hotcakes in Paris and at a lot of the shops and stores and restaurants. And I said, oh, okay, I'll try it. And so at the same time, I knew this area because, again, I imported a wine that was what I call traditional Cotes de Gascogne, but not Sauvignon Blanc and Chardonnay. We want to point it out on the map so you get a little. This is Hugh Johnson's book. He does specified areas like that. And again, this is very famous for Armagnac. In my past, which I always like to bring up a little bit, I had a chance to stay at one of the top level Armagnac producers one night and taste Baz Armagnac, and they were fabulous. I mean, we were tasting Armagnacs that are 100 years old, and I was just blown away. Of course, Armagnac like cognac, but it was all vintage dated, which is completely different than cognac. But I'm more of an Armagnac guy. But the two grapes, traditional grapes, again, Ugni Blanc and Colombard. I know those grapes don't mean anything to a lot of people, maybe us in the trade, because we love to taste those two wines. They're beautiful. But Chardonnay and Sauvignon Blanc, beautiful expressions here. Look at the color of this. This is the Chardonnay, and it's beautiful. And I was quite surprised because, I don't usually, have never really tasted Chardonnay from this area, but let's give it a gander here. And beautiful nose. This has got, again, it's got that, what I like, the orchard fruit, the pears and the apples, all those kind of like fruits that just jump from the glass. Beautiful, by the way. This is all stainless steel. There is no oak to this wine. It's just pure fruit. But let's taste it. Wow, that's completely unique and different. It has that leesy, creamy kind of quality, but not too much, which is great. I don't like that over the top kind of creaminess in wines or vanilla. I don't know if you're out there and tasted vanilla in wines, it's not something for me. But this has a beautiful texture to it, and it does have some nice mineral expression, but not too much. Because I know some people out there, they might not like what I like, terroir and minerality and limestone and things like that. That might be a little too much for the palate of some people. So if some people say, I just like fruit and more fruit, and I say, okay, there are wines for you. This is the perfect wine, and we think that this is fabulous. Again, Cotes de Gascogne, right down here in this neck of the woods. Actually, this is a beautiful area for duck and for foie gras. And, again, Armagnac, which we don't have a bottle of Armagnac, but guess what? We have the closest thing. We have the wines of Gascogne, and we think that these wines are fabulous. Again, this Grape Explorer, always talking about very interesting things to bring to the table that you might not have heard of, but you might want to try. If you ever have any information, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter, and this is our YouTube. So if you have any questions about any of the wines, shoot and we'll give you the answers. Again, cheers.